right, it is March 28th, day 81, I think day 81. I have a few clips from yesterday that I had already processed the video when I made these clips, because I thought I was going to be home late. So if you're new to my channel, I have mast cell activation syndrome with extremely high histamine issues because of it, and it went undiagnosed for 2 years. I was just told I had long haul COVID, which is what did activate it, because I've had it in the past. It kind of sticks with you. And we're trying to heal it. We're trying to heal it because it caused severe gut issues, high ANAs. Like, it's caused a lot of issues with me. So we are using a carnivore, low histamine diet to do it, which means I am eating 0 aged red meat, okay, from a local butcher. They are not aged. I am eating farm fresh eggs from local here, from a farm here that I buy also at the butcher's. Occasionally a little cheese, a lot of Irish butter that I am buying from Aldi's. It seems to taste the best and work the best for me. Occasional chicken broth from Aldi's when I've had an episode, because it helps calm my stomach because I can't really eat food after the episodes. If you're new, the episodes is when my histamine levels get too high because of the environment, stress. Like, anything can cause your histamine bucket to overflow, come to find out. And I end up on a toilet with a bucket with volcanoes out both ends for hours and hours and hours, and my blood pressure drops to the ground and my pulse goes to 160 or higher. I am desperately ill. I am shaking. I am pouring sweat. It is horrifying, and I've had these episodes for years of my life, but they had gotten better doing keto. I got down to 155, but then gained 100 pounds because of it, and no one knew what was wrong with me. Every doctor, it's your age, it's fibromyalgia, it's long haul COVID, it's this, it's that, but no one knew. I had to discover for myself and ask for the test myself, and yes, I have it, and now we are trying to hush those mast cells to quiet back down like they're supposed to do, so we can have a normal life and eat. Like keto. I miss keto. I have to be honest. I can do this because it's for my health, but I really do miss some lettuce and tomato. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big vegetable person. I miss some carrots too, because I did do carrots on keto. And that's what I'm missing. Literally, just to have some lettuce and tomato on, like, ground picanha or something, because I can't do ground beef because it's high histamine, so I grind it myself. Just like that little, that's what I'm missing, okay? Also, you can't have mustard. Mustard's a no-no on high histamine. Any processed foods are no-no, but mustard seed itself is a no-no, so I'm missing my mustard. And of course, can't have mayonnaise, because I'm having issues with bacon, so I can't make a bacon grease mayonnaise. And the store-bought one, first I'm allergic to avocados. Extremely, like, EpiPen allergic. So yeah, just missing it a little today. But anyways, let me go ahead and show you the few clips from last night and my little breakfast. Alright, so I have already put my video together for tonight, so you're seeing us on the next day's video. I just tried to do a salty electrolytes because I'm desperately in need of some electrolytes. However, after 2 swallows, and yes, I used the correct water, heartburn so bad. I'm wondering if it was the electrolytes that made me so sick that night. And I need to not be sick. I have to take my daughter, and I'm going to be gone out of the house for 4+ hours. But it's hard to breathe because the heartburn is happening. So, flavors. I used the berry one, but flavors, and it is basically processed. It does have some acacia gum. So, there's that. This is why I'm not doing Zedias either, because all of them bother me. I guess I'm just going to have to put salt in water. That's all I can think of. All right, so I went to go down there and get my daughter, and she comes out of the room a little upset and said, please don't get mad. I'm like, oh my God, what now? What now? His mom didn't get out of work in time, so they had to cancel about going to the movies. I'm like, I will never get him mad. I'm so excited because I was dreading it, having to find 3+ hours of things to do. And it's very foggy, pouring rain, and my windshield wipers are completely to shit. I have to get windshield wipers. They don't work at all. So no, I'm fine. I was happy. She was a little disappointed, so I took her to get her Dunkin' Donuts coffee. She likes a latte with sweet and low. And then she went over to her favorite Mexican restaurant and ordered tilapia with some rice and a side salad. And my dad did the same thing. So I brought that home to him, and she's happy. And it's like 7-something, and I'm home safe and sound, not out there in the dark and the rain and fog. So I'm in a great mood, but I'm also hungry. So I'll let you know if I eat anything. All right, so last night I was hungry, like I said in the video, and I did go to try to eat. I ate one little bite of my steak and instantly was repulsed. I'm having a meat aversion right now, I think. So it is almost 12 o'clock, and I'm going to start my day off with 5 eggs cooked in 2 tablespoons of butter and just a teaspoon of the tallow, just in case, because it is animal fat, just to see how I do with it. I know it's not a lot, but it also will give it a yummy taste. Y'all, it is such a good thing that Haley's thing canceled, because at the time I would have been picking her up was a horrifying storm. It wasn't hell, but the rain was so friggin' hard and thick, it sounded like hell on my house. The thunder, the lightning, the wind. Y'all, I gotta figure out something on the roof last night of my porch area ended up leaking extremely bad. There was a leak before and we fixed it, so it must have like come apart. The storm was horrifying. It rained for all day yesterday, but come like 7 p.m. on, it was pouring. I have never had that much rain, thunder, lightning, it was rolling thunder. It was the loudest thunder I had heard in years. And I watched the lightning storm right there. So my sleep was horrible because the thunder kept waking me up all night long, and my cat was terrified. The rest of them weren't, but Bear's a little scaredy cat, and it kept scaring her to death, and she had to be held, and she cried a lot. And it was scary. Let me tell you that I am never, since they've been born, there has never been rolling thunder like that. I got it in Florida all the time. But here in North Carolina, at least this area, you would have a little thunder lightning storm. It's not extremely loud. It would last really fast around here. But this was rolling thunder for 8+ hours. What? And it was so loud. So loud. So my sleep was horrible. I didn't wake up until 10 because of that. I had to force myself out of bed. I have a migraine, but I'm trying not to take ibuprofen. On my second coffee, and I am putting butter back in it. Butter is part of the diet, okay? I am watching tons of people who are doing butter as one of their main fat sources on carnivore, and they look amazing. And some of them has been doing it a couple years now. All their labs are perfect. Because a lot of y'all who I guess don't do carnivore, I'm getting comments, don't eat the butter, eat the fat of the meat. First of all, I can't handle that. Second of all, everything I've read, that fat of that butter is fine. It's going to give me what I need to. So I've put my butter back in my coffee. So each one of my coffees are going to get 2 tablespoons of butter. That means each coffee a little more than 200 calories per coffee, and that is because I have 3 coffees a day. I've divided a scoop of collagen into 3, so it's 15 grams. And each coffee gets 5 grams, so that's another 100 for the whole thing a day. So that's at least 700 calories. Y'all, I can't eat enough to get enough calories in, period. My stomach won't allow me. I will throw up. I will be desperately ill, even if I took all my fluid away. I have never been able to. If you go watch my keto videos, I only ate about 1,200 calories a day max. And I was doing protein sparing modified fast days. So it would be like a 1,200 calorie day, then it would be like a 700 calorie day, blah, 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 all the way for a long time. Because my stomach can't, I don't think it processes food fast enough. Like, it's really seems to be slow at processing what I eat. So sometimes when I eat 2 meals, I get super sick. So I always have to be careful that they're spread out far enough apart. And I have to be careful with volume. And it has been this way almost my whole life. Now, years and years and years ago, when I was 434 pounds, I went to a stomach doctor and they did a bunch of tests. And they were like, first of all, your stomach does take a long time to dump out the food it's supposed to that you had eaten previously. And 2, I was this big, giant, fat, 334 pounds, right? So I should have a stretched out stomach on the inside. We're talking about where the food goes. And I didn't. My stomach was smaller than my fist. It was very tiny. They said they had never seen that. It wasn't even the size it should be for being an adult. And that's why they were assuming that when I had to graze, because if I ate a meal, like if I ate 2 slices of thin crust pizza, I would be on the floor crying because that was too much food at once. A salad would take me forever to eat. Like, I wasn't the girl at the buffet being fat because I overate. I actually, most days were 600 calories. And yes, I tracked. I have been obsessed with trying to lose weight since I was 13 years old. I tracked my whole life, okay? I tracked calories. I didn't know about the carb thing back then. And I ate a lot of carbs because when you eat a donut, it condenses down to nothing inside your stomach. But when you would eat steak, it doesn't condense down as small. So I lived on a lot of carbs, like plain baked potatoes. I didn't like stuff on my potatoes. I've always just been maybe a tiny bit of butter or just salt. I've never been one of these, like some people put chili and all kind of stuff. Not me. So I got big from carbs. But most of it wasn't from calories. So when people say calories in, calories out, they can all go jump through a lake. It's no. I polycystic ovary syndrome since the time I was like 16, 15. I had severe insulin resistance. So, and stress levels, my cortisol, I always pronounce it wrong. Anyways, it was always high, always through the roof. Had severe asthma, like, it was always so bad. But if I had only known, because I was gonna try Atkins all those decades ago, but people said I'd die of a heart attack. And back then, there wasn't computers everywhere. There wasn't all this information, okay? YouTube didn't, I don't even know if it existed back then, to be truthful. Like, now I can see the people who said that as a dumb idiot. You're not going to die of a heart attack doing Atkins. You're going to save your friggin' life. Same with keto and carnivore and all those things. Now we have the ability to make our own decision and decide to be a sheep, a brainwashed sheep by all these companies and pharmas and stuff, or to think for ourselves and actually do research for ourselves, because it's at the tip of our fingers now. We can do it. We can figure out and think for ourselves. I'm getting on a soapbox. But anyways, I will stop talking before my soapbox becomes even bigger. And we will, I will show you what I eat for dinner when I'm hungry, because I'm not. I had 5 eggs. That's why I had 5 eggs this morning. Eggs, I can only have eggs once a day just because I'm worried about my histamines. I tend to have issues when I eat certain things too many times a day. So I went with 5 because that was a good amount with my coffee, a good amount of calories, a good amount of fats, halfway through my protein goal. So that is why I went with it. so that I can at least get that in. And then I'm planning by 6 to have dinner, because my rule is to at least eat 3 to 4 hours before I'm going to bed, so that I don't have issues, because my stomach takes so long to digest and I don't want heartburn. But I'm sure Dino wants to put his music back on. He's playing video games today, so I need to stop recording so he can turn his stuff back on. So I will show you what I eat in a little bit. Alright, so I was doing great all day long. Nothing wrong. It is after 3, and out of nowhere 20 minutes ago, I felt like I was going to faint. I got really, really nauseous, and my gushing heartburn started. It was coming out my nose again. Having to run to the bathroom. I did go outside, and of course there's a lot of mold and everything because it poured so bad. So I don't know. Was it the eggs? Y'all, this has not been a good week when it comes to these issues. Maybe it's because I ate chicken yesterday and it's just not affecting me. Things can affect you up to 48 hours after eating it. Maybe I really can't have chicken. Maybe it's just gonna have to stay on the no-no list. This is the hard part. I'm keeping a food sensitivity journal, but this is the hard part. I am very, very nauseous. I really don't know what I can and can't eat anymore, and that is the part that's driving me insane. Maybe it was because I had a little bit of, it was only a teaspoon of the fat from the tallow. Maybe I'll just turn the tallow into lotion. I don't know. But this might be the ending of my video today. I don't know yet. My cat's staring at me. He knows I don't feel good. Aw, did you come and see Mommy? We're gonna take care of Mommy. This is Sharky. He likes to lay on me when I don't feel good. He gets on my stomach. So I'm just gonna lay here. Maybe I shouldn't eat breakfast. Yeah. Oh, we're making biscuits on Mommy's tummy. Sharky, you fixing Mommy's tummy for her? You try and make it feel better. Yeah. Ooh. Just don't make me throw up. So I've been stuck in bed for hours and hours. I've been doing research since if I move, I almost throw up, and trying to go to sleep isn't working either. And I guess I stumbled on a website of mast cell activation syndrome, one I hadn't read yet, and it explains that hormone changes can cause you to have back-to-back episodes, so don't always blame the food you're eating. It's that time of the month this week, so that could be the issue. I've gone back through some of my notes, and it was that time of the month when I had other issues the last almost 3 months. It can be that it rained because I have a mold issue. I am actually allergic to mold, so it could be that it rained. It can be from stress. It can be that I overexerted myself doing the garden. It can be from heat. It can be from cold. It can be from anything. Until your mast cells shut up and go back to sleep, anything can set off an episode. It's just your food can actually also make your throat swell shut. And yeah. But it overfills your sink basically, or your buckets, your histamine bucket. It makes you have reactions from your throat swelling to hives to severe gastrointestinal issues. The list is so long. Fatigue, it can even be what's causing my severe muscle cramps throughout my whole entire body that just will not stop. They started 3 weeks ago and they're getting worse every day. And I was doing electrolytes and taking my magnesium and having my sodium, and I can't add potassium because my high blood pressure pills is a potassium pill, and it is quite high. So I can't do anything on top of that. Plus, guess what? If you eat meat, it has potassium in it. I eat chicken breast, has tons of potassium. Like, it's rare for anyone to be low on potassium if they eat meat. Let's just put it that way. So anything can be setting it off. They say don't even play the guessing game with mast cell activation syndrome because it's just going to drive you completely insane. All you can do is a low histamine diet and go from there. I don't have many items on my list, so a normal low histamine diet has like apples and different things on the list that I don't eat. But a lot of people with mast cell activation syndrome does not eat a lot of red meat because it aged, because a lot of it's aged meat. Mine is not. So yeah, I don't know what to do. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I had about 5 crackers earlier, which is way more carbs than I have had in 82 days. And it did stop the gushing. It almost stopped immediately, and that was hours ago. The nausea is still there, but the gushing completely ended. I wasn't letting myself do it, and it was just pouring out my nose, and making me cough real bad. And I told myself, you're not gonna have the crackers, you're not gonna have it. And then I couldn't take it no more. I couldn't catch my breath. It was feeling like it was drowning me. So I ate them, and it calmed it down, which came to about 16 total carbs. So it's still under 20 total carbs, but I know I'm going to swell from it just because I swell when I eat any kind of friggin' carbs anymore, and I swell when I eat wheat. So I'm just gonna ignore that. I wish if I had a baked potato, I would have just ate a baked potato. I do better. Potatoes don't. It might raise people's blood sugars, but believe it or not, it doesn't raise mine. Donuts don't raise mine. Like, keto healed my type 2 diabetes 100%. So even when I was just eating crackers, breads, and potatoes for over 3 months, my A1C was still only at 5.4, and my blood sugar never rose above 120, and I took it religiously all the time during it, and it never raised. But I am not a healthy person when I eat like tons of potatoes and tons of carbs. You saw what I look like on the 6th. I swell. I get tons of inflammation. I am so desperately ill. So yeah, I did have a few crackers, and I've been stuck in bed all day, and it turned out to be a pretty day, and I couldn't go outside or do anything. But and I'm scared to eat. Yeah. For 2 years. Okay, so if you go back and look at my videos, I would do 3 months amazing, lose the weight, lose like 20, 30, 40 pounds, and then all of a sudden it would begin again, this whole entire issue. I would go off the plan and eat the crackers and the potatoes and stuff, gain the 30-something pounds again, and then start the cycle all over again for 2 years. We're not doing that this time. I had the handful of crackers, which still stayed below keto numbers. I didn't let myself go over the keto numbers, like the 20 total carbs. So, because I'm not going through that cycle anymore. I'm just not. And A gastro doctor can't help me because they know nothing about mast cell activation syndrome or histamine issues. Believe it or not, most allergists have no idea about mast activation syndrome and histamine issues. They only know how to deal with a true allergy. They do not understand histamine issues. And I don't go to local doctors, by the way. I don't go to a local GI. I do not go to local allergists. I go to UNC Medical Complex. Hospital is top notch. People come from out of the states to come here for them. I go to some Duke ones. So they are all high up in their fields. They're not like just your little local ones. They are ones that have a lot more college behind their belt, but unfortunately they are not trained in it as either. And we don't have a specialist for mast cell activation syndrome here. They have them in Florida. They have quite a few in Florida. The top ones are in Florida. It is a new specialty because you have to know so much. You gotta be a great internalist basically because it deals with everything. Everything. Like, it can be the cause of your fibromyalgia, your GER, your polycystic ovary syndrome, believe it or not. Like, there is so much that entails with mast activation syndrome. But my arm is starting to hurt holding this up because it's cramping. My muscles can't stop cramping. It's completely driving me insane. And no, my pee is not dark, so I'm not dehydrated. And yes, I am getting a lot of sodium. The cramping's starting to really get to me. And the abdomen spasms I was having, the muscle spasms, oh my gosh, they were so bad. Once I ate the crackers, the spasms stopped so much. And I don't mean, it's not intestinal spasms, right? Because I have IBS. I know what intestinal spasms is, and feeling your intestines dance inside your body and twist and everything. I am talking about where I could stand up and you could see the muscle literally encave to my spine. It's horrible. Laying here in bed's got me bored, so I can't stop yawning. But I'm going to shut up now because my arm. And maybe I'll come back and my face is starting to twitch again. Alright, it's been about 2 more hours. I have gotten me a watered down black coffee. Just because I feel like I need something hot. And the chicken broth did not settle when I tried to do it earlier. I tried the chicken broth before the crackers. It causes me to have a little hard time breathing when it happens. And I'm trying not to cry because I'm so frustrated. Every time I start to get upset about not knowing what I can and can't eat, not knowing when I'm going to have episodes, I sit and I remember the girl I've been watching on TikTok who, for 7 years, cannot eat anything or drink anything other than a special allergy baby formula and oatmeal. She can't have coffee. She can't have any other kind of drink in the world. She can't eat anything else or her throat will swell shut. So when I go to cry, I remind myself, it could be so much worse. And she still has episodes, even though she's obeying the rules because the environment, stress, and everything else. So I try not to, I'm more emotional right now because it's that time of the month. And maybe it is a hormone thing because when I go back looking when I was having issues with the eggs and I thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat the eggs, or when I had the issue with the bacon and I stopped the bacon, that was that time of the month. I was having Shark Week during that time. And it seems to be a big issue for some women that during Shark Week they are more sensitive, extremely bad, to even foods they have no issues with, and they're throwing up like the whole week and with diarrhea and hives and itching and but it explains so much of my life because these are questions I've had for years. And it was completely in remission when I was doing keto. I was doing amazing until I got the Delta version. Like, so good. I only had episodes when I would go to Hawaii because we would eat tons of processed food the whole time I was there. Even if I was on keto during the time, it was very processed. It was like tons of hot dogs, tons of Spam, tons of Vienna sausages. Like, we lived on processed and restaurant food. Like, a lot. Like, we're talking tons of MSG food because it was a lot of Asian foods, a lot of things like that. So when and this would happen there, and the getting overheat triggers it as well. And I would get desperately ill every time I went to Hawaii for multiple days. I would be desperately ill and then fine for like a handful of days, and then desperately ill and then fine for and that happened every time I went there because that's the food I was living on. Then I came back here and I was perfectly fine back eating normal keto. It would go away. No episodes, no issues with food, eating salsa, eating whatever, eating friggin' Quest chips. But the Delta version kicked my butt. And has caused them not to shut back up. They are not shutting up. They are not going back to sleep. Those mast cells are just like hanging out partying. But at least I have an answer, right? At least I know what it is. I don't have a doctor here for it because they don't have specialists around here, especially when that takes my insurance, and they're not a real specialist. So I am learning from real specialists by watching videos, by going to their websites, by reading case studies, because it is only been completely known about for 16 years, even though it's been here forever. So there's only so much information. Like, there is constantly new information coming out. So basically I'm just treating myself and learning more stuff every day. Like, I didn't know about the hormones. I knew about the rain. I knew about stress, but I did not know about the hormones. I knew about the heat. I didn't know the cold was also a factor. So basically, if you're out in the heat, getting all really, really hot, and you don't end up having an episode, but you come back in your house and it's like 64, because that's why I keep my house, it can cause you to have an episode because the severity in the different temperatures. Heat itself causes me to have episodes. I blotch up and my skin will raise. Didn't used to be that way. I never had a heat issue. It's also why I keep my house so cold, because I'm not cold. I'm on fire all the time. I'm very sensitive to heat. I am literally on fire 24/7. Like, I went outside the other morning and it was 55 and I was still hot. I am having issues with that, and I've been having it for 2 years, and that's when doctors like, oh, it's perimenopause. No, we checked my hormones. It's not. It's actually a big symptom of this. Also, skin writing is a big symptom, a huge red flag. It's like the #1 symptom for people. Like, if you can skin write, you probably have it. So skin writing is where you can literally go draw on someone's skin with your finger or fingernail. You're not pressing extremely hard at all. You're not drawing blood. You're not hurting them. And a few minutes later, you're going to come back and their skin is going to be completely raised. It's the pressure. I was told I was allergic to pressure since I was a little girl. They just said, oh, you have an allergy to pressure. No, I've had mast cell activation since I was a little girl, because there's no such thing as being allergic to pressure. It's a disorder. It's a disease. Like, yeah. Yep. There's so many things that as I read, I'm like, oh my God, this has been me since I was a little girl. This was me in the hospital as a little girl. This is me, and they never knew what it was. This was me. This is me. It's like finally knowing why all these things happen to me. But the hard part is trying to fix it. Because also, I was stupid enough for the last 2 years to go off my loratadine for months at a time, because I was watching some of the other keto doctors and carnivore doctors who says it can give you Alzheimer's if you take it too long. That might be true, but why I took it for those years, I barely had any issues, any flare-ups at all. Why I took it. The flare-ups were very minimum, but every time I went off of it, the flare-ups were non-stop. So I've only been back on it 82 days as well. So, but I need to learn, I need to figure out how to control it better. So that I don't have to go on steroids, because that won't work. I can't take steroids. They make me shake beyond belief, because that is the next step if you can't control it with diet and loratadine is steroids. And I don't want to go there. But anyways, this is probably the ending of my video, because I'm not going to eat anything else. My heart palpitations have been pretty bad the last 3 days. Also explains why I had heart palpitations for years. Went to a heart doctor. They did every test. They couldn't figure out what was causing them, but I wore the thing and they could see them and they could hear them. You could hear them. They're so loud. And they never could figure out what was causing it. The medication would help lower it some, which turns out some of that medications help with mast cell activation syndrome. And that is also a symptom, is heart palpitations, where you cannot find a heart condition, any cause for it. And that is usually mast cell activation syndrome. I'm learning more every day, which means y'all get to learn more every day with me. Even if you don't have it, you get to learn these things. Maybe you have someone in your life with it. But I am going to try to rest the best I can. So I'm calling my mom because I'm supposed to go tomorrow to Costco, which is over an hour drive away each way, to try to get fresh cod for Easter. But the way I feel, that's just not happening. That would be, I couldn't do it because of my leg cramps alone, much less any stomach issues. I am having, the leg cramps are horrible. I can't drive very long distance right now because of them. Let me tell you. So, can anyone explain why in the 70s, 80s, 90s with old-fashioned house phones, they worked fine, you could hear each other, but even on house phones, because my mom has a house phone, you can no longer hear each other. You'll be talking to the air and they'll be saying, can you hear me, can you hear me, or vice versa, because they can't hear you or you can't hear them. Why, with all the newer technology, does nothing work anymore? It is so hard to make a phone call that doesn't get cut out constantly. Like, it's insane. And their house phone really sucks. And it's like the same line that's always been there, and it worked just fine in the 90s, and it's just the last 10 years it's gone to hell, worse and worse. Why does advancement seems to put us farther backwards? Very frustrating, because like I said, trying to figure out what to get as the main dish for Easter. They like to do fish, and that's not going to happen this year. Very frustrating.